Hi, everyone, and welcome to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got Brittany Fleener joining me today, and she's from the Branch House Family Justice Center, and we're talking about domestic violence and a couple of big events coming up in October. So tell us about where do we start? Which one?
Yeah, so at the very start of October, we're kicking off Domestic Violence Awareness Month with the Service and Protection Awards. And this is actually our 19th annual event.
Wow.
We do this every year. And it's really just to honor our law enforcement and our victim service providers for everything that they do for victims of domestic violence throughout the year. During the event, we honor someone with law enforcement with the Mark Vance Remembrance Award. Mark Vance was a Bristol, Tennessee police officer who was killed in 2004 upon responding to a domestic violence call. And so we like to honor a member of law enforcement within the Tri-Cities area who's really just gone above and beyond for victims that year, to remember Mark Vance and to also honor the work that our law enforcement is doing right now to combat domestic violence at home. We also have an award honoring Steve Hinkle, who was a Sullivan County Sheriff's Office sergeant who passed away in 2019 responding to a welfare check. And so we honor a service professional with that award. And that's a victim service provider who's also gone above and beyond for victims during the month. And it's just a really great way for our community to come together, for the leaders in our community to come out and to recognize these folks for all the great work they're doing and to raise awareness about domestic violence here at home.
Yeah, because they are definitely, obviously, the first on the scene, putting their life at risk, and, they kind of see everything firsthand and also really know the techniques to kind of calm down a situation too. So it is nice that they get recognized. So this is just an award ceremony. When is that?
So it's October 6th. It's the first Friday in October. It's at 10 a.m. at Branch House, and we're located at 313 Foothills Drive. And everybody in our community is invited to attend. It's a really great event. We'll have a light lunch to follow, and then we also do tours of Branch House after the event.
Oh, great. Yeah, so if you haven't been to the facility, you definitely, and just tell us a little bit about the facility and what services you provide.
We're a family justice center, and what we like to say to explain it to everyone is we're essentially a one-stop shop for victims. They come to Branch House and they only have to tell what's going on one time to reduce re-traumatization. So they only have to go through that once, and then we coordinate comprehensive services for them from one place. And really we have an array of services that our partners help us provide on site for victims in our community. And we have services for helping file for orders of protection, advocacy, therapy, emergency shelter, financial assistance, anything that a victim would need in order to flee an abusive situation or live independently following abuse, we will have a resource for.
Gosh, that's great.
So we're really happy to be here in our community. We're seeing, this model working and seeing people coming out on the other side of abuse. So it's really great.
That is good. And what about the second event?
Yeah, so it's really exciting. We're very busy in the month of October because it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So another one of the activities that we're doing is going to be on October 18th. It's called Let's Chalk About DV. And what we're asking just local businesses, organizations, agencies, clubs, whoever wants to be involved in this event, to reach out to us. They can email me, Brittany@branchhousetn.org, or they can give us a call at our office. And what we're going to do is take them a domestic violence statistic or fact and a baggie of chalk. And we're just asking them for on October 18th to write that statistic or fact out on their sidewalk or in their parking lot, and then do a little bit of art around it. Then we're going to come by and take photos of everyone. We're going to try to get the media involved so that we can recognize these agencies and organizations who are taking part in raising awareness about domestic violence.
That's great. What a cute idea. I love that. And who doesn't like a little sidewalk chalk and
right,
or a window in the windows somehow?
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah,
great.
absolutely.
I love that. So that is October 18th, and that'll be fun to just kind of drive around and see who gets involved and just to see some of the statistics, because I
Right.
think sometimes if you haven't been a victim or been involved, you don't realize just how prevalent this is in our community.
Exactly. And sometimes all it takes is just seeing a little bit of sidewalk art to start the conversation, and to pique people's interest. And then it just kind of opens up the door for, that community education, which is really important and what we all need to stop domestic violence in our community.
Well, thank you, Brittany, for joining us today and for these 2 events. And definitely don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a moment. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got Jane Roberts with me today from the American Cancer Society. And we're talking about a great event that's coming up where you're partnering with Ballad. Tell us a little bit about this.
Well, as a matter of fact, we're partnering with Hard Rock, Ballad, WCYB, WXBQ, and Bristol Herald.
Wow.
So they are all our presenting sponsors. It'll be October the 21st.
Okay.
We start at Boise Cox Stadium, and we'll be walking from Boise Cox up to the Hard Rock.
Oh, wow.
We're going to have food trucks, music, vendors, resources for health services. We want it to be where people can come in and be thinking about, okay, where can I go get a mammogram? Well, we're going to have everywhere that you could get a mammogram. Well, if I do have cancer, where do I get a wig? Here is the places you can get a wig. So if there's people who are out there that has those type of resources, if they will get in touch with me, I'll be glad to add them to our list to be part of the event.
That's great. Yeah, I was just going to say, so October 21st, if you want to get involved, what's the best way to go about that?
You can email me at jane.roberts@cancer.org.
That's easy enough.
That's easy. That's an easy one.
So, and then are you looking for volunteers or participants or both?
All the above. We're still looking for sponsors. Right now we have 34 teams.
Okay.
We have over 200 participants. Our goal is to have over 300. We want to have over 100 survivors. And this event, if you want to come just as a survivor, go on our website and you can register just as a survivor. You don't have to donate any money. We'll send you a shirt. You can wear the shirt to the event. Our survivors will have a survivor's tent.
Okay.
We'll have a gift bag for each one of our survivors. And we just want them just to have a great time. So if you are a survivor, go ahead and go to our website and register just as a survivor.
And tell us a little bit about the American Cancer Society, and especially, obviously, we know October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and so what kind of services you provide for people that are either survivors and then also those who are maybe just getting diagnosed.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a 2-year survivor myself, so I know what everybody's going through. And I can't say that. Everybody's different. Everyone is different. But we have our 1-800 number. I highly recommend that when you're diagnosed to give that number a call. We can either mail you or email you. It will be like a booklet of information about the type of cancer you have, because there's all different types of breast cancer. We can also have our Reach to Recovery program. If you call our 1-800 number, it's 1-800-227-2345. And you can ask to speak to someone, and it's like a one-on-one support group, and they will match you with someone who is about the same age as you are, that has the type of same cancer that you have. It's just someone that you can talk with and say, hey, this is what I'm experiencing, what have you done, what is, that type of thing. So, and the other thing is that with us, the biggest thing that we do is the research. Mm-hmm. People say, well, I've had people to be very upset about the fact that we don't help pay for the electric bill, and we don't help pay for the car payments or the house payments. And we could do that, but then we wouldn't have any money for the treatments. Mm-hmm. Our biggest thing, our focus is to find that treatment. Right now I have 3 friends who are stage 4 breast cancer, and they are on chemo drugs constantly, and then they become immune to them. So we have to have something there for them to go to. But that's something there that we might have for them to switch to might be the cure.
Yeah.
So we're very adamant about that's what we do. We want to do the research.
Yeah, that's great. And we need to have that because, like you said, there's so many different kinds. At what age is recommended now to get a mammogram?
40.
Okay.
40 or above. You should get your
Unless maybe
mammogram.
there's a history.
If there's a history,
Right.
it should be sooner than that. Exactly, right. 40 or above. And we also work with the BCC DEP programs. They are with the health departments.
Okay.
And what they provide is through the CDC, they provide free mammograms, screening, and diagnostic, and they will be at our event. So if you don't have insurance or if you have a high deductible and it's hard for you to get a mammogram financially, then please come to the event so that way that they can sign you up, see if you qualify for this program, because it goes farther than any program that I know of.
Gosh, that's great. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Wow, lots of good information. Definitely sign up to go to the event or support it or walk it or something.
Yeah.
It's a walking event, correct?
Well, it's sort of a walking
Kind of
and
a
a
stride.
festival.
More of a
it's sort of a festival. But we'll
Okay.
start at Boise Cox at 10 o'clock
Okay.
on October the 21st. We'll walk up to the Hard Rock, and then we just plan on having a party.
I love that. Well, everybody likes a good party. So,
That's
and
right.
I'm sure hopefully it'll be like beautiful fall weather too.
Pray.
That's
Yes.
exactly right. Fingers crossed for you. Well, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got Assistant Chief McGlamory from the Fire Department with me today, and we are talking about Fire Prevention Week coming up
Absolutely.
right around the corner. So let's start maybe with the open house.
Yeah, we're going to do October 21st. We're going to do an open house that we're pretty excited about because we're bringing a bunch of cool stuff in this time. And it'll be at our Station 5 right in front of the Pinnacle, right behind Weigel's, real easy to find. We're going to do some car seat checks. So if you got a car seat you're not sure about, you want us to look at, we'll have firemen there looking at that. We're going to have some snacks and food and just a lot of fun stuff for the kids. So we'd really like to have a good turnout this year, and the more kids, the better.
I think you'll just put those fire trucks out, and that
they
tends to
can
just
come and
draw
look.
them in.
And we let them play on them and
I
climb
know,
through them and
it's
touch
so
and
cute.
look, and I don't know, they have a good time.
Yeah, definitely. That's exciting. So that, mark your calendar, that's October 21st.
Correct.
And what time does that start?
That'll be from 11 to 4.
11 to 4. So you have all day.
Yep,
so if
absolutely.
you've got little like soccer beforehand, you can still make it.
Dump by
Plenty
right
of
after the
time.
soccer, we'll be good to go.
That'll be great. So tell us this year's goal. You tend to have a theme.
Correct.
When, we're talking fire prevention, just so that there's something, specific we can focus on.
This year's really basic, and I like that. It is just cooking safety. And the biggest thing on the cooking safety is be aware of what you're doing. We're seeing more and more cooking fires, statistics wise, and a lot of that is time. We don't have time to stand and cook like we did 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Cooking then was a single thing you did, and you stayed and you watched. Well, now you're putting something on the stove, you're putting something in the oven, you're going and doing something else because life is busy. And that's the biggest problem we have is you're not aware of what's going on. Unattended cooking fires, unattended cooking is what causes most of the fires.
Yeah, that's great. So lots of, safety tips. You really recommend if you're not standing there, shut it down.
Correct. Cut it off. A kids-free zone is something we're starting to push that's around the stove area.
Okay.
And that's when you're cooking or not to get them used to not being close to the stove so we don't have any scalds or burns or
touching it.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's one of those don't touch, but why?
Yeah, why, let me
Yeah,
and that is that's a
Definite.
big thing for us is
Yeah.
keeping the kids safe, just like the open house. That's what
Absolutely.
we want to teach them. Part of the open house we're going to put some cooking stations up.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, so the kids, we can talk to them about ovens and cooking, and we're going to have some little kids cooking stations where they can play and see what's going on with that. So it's going to be, we're trying to really tie it all in together this year.
Are you throwing the microwave in on that too? Because I feel that needs to be there.
Absolutely. What to put and not to put in the microwave.
Right,
You know,
right.
there's some pretty spectacular things can happen if you put the wrong thing in a microwave. So
This is true. I know my kids all were big into just like at least getting to pop their own popcorn.
absolutely.
But the styrofoam's a no-no.
And that's
But,
exactly
these are
right.
things because that's something they can do when they're a little younger. They kind of want to at least.
Well, they want to help.
They do.
They have the
That's
tendency
right.
to want to help, and that's a good thing. We just
Yeah.
got to control what they're able to touch. And one of the other big things in the cooking that we see over and over and over, and we did different videos on it, is the turkey fryers.
Oh yeah. Okay.
The biggest thing we see is not following directions,
Okay.
overfilling the turkey fryers with oil. Then you dump your turkey in and it overflows, catches on fire, and it's a big mess. So
Yeah.
I say this because of experience, and it's kind of funny. Don't put these inside.
Oh yeah. No.
Make sure they're outside. Make sure they're away from your deck. That'll make that a lot safer. We have seen a lot of them being misused, causing some fires.
Well, thank you so much for all these tips, and really good luck with the week and the open house. I'm
Yep.
sure it'll be a big hit.
We're excited.
Well, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a second. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Inside Bristol. I'm your host, Sheridan Nichols, and I've got Jeremy Stout and Wes Walker with me talking about Wildlife Weekend coming up October 13th and 14th over at Steel Creek Park. And I think we'll start with Jeremy because you're in charge of Friday night events. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
So tell us what we can expect.
Oh man, well this event is so much fun. This is the 26th annual event for us this year, and this is always a partnership between the City of Bristol, Tennessee and the Friends of Steel Creek Nature Center and Park, and so that we're bringing that same energy this year. But our theme this year is the Park After Dark, and so we have TWRA wildlife biologist Chris Ogle is going to be delivering our keynote presentation on Friday the 13th. Spooky, and the topic is a little bit spooky, nocturnal creatures in the park.
I love
but
it.
he's going to be talking about bats and all kinds of things that are happening, after the sun goes down. So that will be wonderful. We're also announcing our photography awards. The annual photography contest is happening, and so those awards will be announced on Friday the 13th as well. And that's all leading into our awesome Saturday events.
I know. Wes, take it away.
Well, Saturday has always been a great day for us. It's actually just a wonderful way to spend a fall Saturday here in Steel Creek. But again, we have a lot of events going on. We're going to start off early with the morning bird walk, and you're going to see some birds that you just don't see out all day long. And then they're going to go right into a bird banding where they capture some and they band them, and then we can go and watch their migratory patterns. From there, the rest of the day is a lot of wildlife themed events, activities, and classes. We have kiosks that cover reptiles, skins and skulls. A lot of people are familiar with that one. And some crafts for the kids. We're going to have the Campbell family there who's going to be making some bat-themed crafts and such. This year we also have our other activities. Harvey, the commander, is going to be leading 2 hikes into the knobs and the knolls, and those are going to be moderate hikes. So for people that want to hike, they'll be able to get their hike on. And then we're going to have, this year we've added some what we call mini sessions. And it's where we give just enough information to give people up to speed on some of the things we want to talk about, but it's not just in passing. So they're about 15 to 20 minute sessions, but they're going to cover things like gardening for wildlife, if you wanted to have a habitat that brings wildlife into your property, or the medicinal and edible plants, and Mike's fungi foray, where Mike takes you out into the woods and he shows you the different types of some fungi and mushrooms and such. And so all of this is just a day full of whatever you
lots to
like.
do. Right.
So, and we'll probably have Chippy show up there too. He's
yeah.
getting ready for hibernation, but we think we can help him into showing up.
Oh, that'll be fun. Now, do you need to register?
No, it is
Okay.
free, and the more the merrier. So both for the Friday night activities and Saturdays, it's family friendly all day. No, just show up and we'd love to see you.
Is there a list online where you can kind of find out when some of the mini sessions take place, or the hikes, if there's something that piques your interest, but you maybe have something else going on? And let me see when this
Yeah,
is.
you can see the full lineup at www.bristoltn.org/wildlife weekend.
Perfect. So October 13th, 14th, Friday the 13th. Yeah, very spooky.
That's
I
right.
love that. perfect weather for a nocturnal animal too.
Absolutely.
Which is exciting. So definitely mark your calendars and get out there. Am I missing anything?
Well, I'll also just add that this is the 4th annual Bio Blitz in addition to
Right.
Wildlife Weekend. So that actually starts on October the 1st. And if you're in Sullivan County, you don't even have to leave your home to participate in that event. You can just upload your observations of plants and animals to iNaturalist, the citizen science app that monitors biodiversity across the whole world. And yeah, you can be involved in that Bio Blitz, which runs from October 1st to the 14th.
Oh, perfect. Okay, definitely. So get your cameras out, your new iPhones out.
You got it.
Thank you so much for being with us today. I know it'll be a great weekend. It always is great out there. So we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you being on, and we appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next time.